Hey man, first and foremost, I want to say, call halal, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakah, Kodash. Send double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Send much peace, love, and salutations to you, Akim, out there pushing the word of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, and sincerity and truth. It's the brother Ariala. And as you can see from the title, Alex Jones was here on the Tim Dillon show, kind of going back over the assassination attempt, whether it's real, whether it's fake, whatever it was, and his thoughts on what's going to happen next. And he says some things that are quite interesting. He says some things that are quite interesting. And so I was like, you know what? I want to highlight that. One of the brothers sent this into the chat, and so I watched this whole thing. Pretty interesting interview. Now you got Tucker Carlson, you got Alex Jones, you got Elon Musk, you got man, pretty much, a lot of these top, you know, alt right, type of perspective. Oh, what's his name? The guy that went to jail out there in Romania. God dang it, Andrew Tate. Now they're all just going hard, promoting Trump, everything like that. And so the brother Raquari Kwame out there in London did a lesson on that. It's just all a coordinated move, but we know ultimately it's the will of the Heavenly Father. And one of the things that Alex Jones is going to highlight is we got some harsh times getting ready to come. You got these the two little horns of battling and vying and jockeying for a position to control, the planet Earth. And so we're going to see the scriptures jump off the page. Okay, we're gonna see these last parts of prophecy really start to take hand. Now it says here in Revelation chapter 12, verse 12, it says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time." And so we're gonna start to see, like we've been saying for many years, Esau start to ramp up. And the apostles deemed this year the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble. When you look at this thing, you pull this from Jeremiah 30:7 says, "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it." We know that we're in a time for things, calamities to really start to touch this earth. Okay, Esau is going to start to target you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and utilize you to justify his MOTV systems and his total control grid that he wants to pump out there. Okay, so when you read here, Daniel 12:1 says, "And at that time, shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation even to that same time, and at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book." So the coming into the name of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is critically important right now, because that's on the only way we're going to be saved out of here. Is for people who we call the two thirds of our people that are set to be destroyed. They're about to catch holy hell. Esau is about to come down and clamp down on this thing hard body. It's not going to be a game. Okay. So I'm going to play this a little bit of this clip, talk about it, and keep going from there.
He's trying to pull the troops out of Ukraine. The U.S. funds 83% of the funding that's public. People say, "Oh, Trump can't kill this. He can't stop this." The hell he can't. He's the commander in chief. So Kennedy tried to pull out the troops. He pulled out 100,000 and he was dead a month later in 1963. So here's what the deep state needs to do. Everybody's against him. The whole world's waking up to him. They want to kill, I'll be very slow here. They want to kill Trump now even more, because this just gave him 20 points. He's not, all these Democrats that are now voting Trump, he's not going to win by 10 points. He's going to win by 30 points. This is a...
Now, earlier in this interview, he's explaining how the polls are ridiculously on Trump's side right now. Like 20, 30 percentage points in certain states. It's just an unheard of gap to where they can't even commit election fraud. The gap is so wide because he was saying, like, if the gap is around, 5-6%, they can just, steal the election. But when the gap gets too wide, it's harder and harder for them to steal the election. So this is what Alex Jones is saying. He's like, this gap has gotten so big to where now the left is in desperation mode to see how they can get Trump up out of there, because nothing has worked, from trying to jail him, assassinate his character, impeachment trials before that. It's just nothing is working, right? So when he's talking about the points, that's what he's talking about.
Major political realignment. He got shot in the side of the head, perfect hole right through his ear, quarter inch over, right in the temple. This is so epic. So what is the deep state going to do? I study clandestine operations. I study all this stuff. I had a lot of family worked in this, and I'm not talking about pencil pushing areas of government. I'm talking about overthrow of government people, okay? And they told me all this stuff when I was a kid. So here's what's going to go down. They got, the deep state has truck bombs loaded in Florida. They have truck bombs, in my opinion, loaded in Wisconsin. And if they don't block the roads off a half mile from Mar-a-Lago with serious concrete dividers, if they don't block off Wisconsin, which Trump said, screw it, I'm going there tomorrow. If they don't do that, the next move is roll a truck full of plastic explosives into the event. They're also going to try to poison him. They got people inside his organization.
So they talk about people having just huge, convoys of explosives, right? You don't think that'll shut down the whole nation? It definitely will. Okay? This is how he's saying this is how extreme it's about to get, man. But check out what he says.
So poisoning, truck bombs, shootings is all that works. Also, they've been pre-programming cyber attacks by the Russians, claiming they're working with Trump supporters. The FBI already put out reports last year saying the Russians working with Trump supporters are going to cut the U.S. power off. No, the desperate deep state. So cyber attacks, power outages, truck bomb attacks.
So these are all the things that we know is prophesied when we talk about the famine of the word, because if they're shutting down the electric grid, they're shutting down the internet capabilities, cyber attacks, and that's going to prevent people's access from going in and out, like it talks about in 2nd Ezra 15 and 16. That's also going to prevent bros from uploading videos, and really from just hitting the streets in general. It's going to be a total chaotic lockdown. Amos 8 and 11 says, "Behold, the days come, said the Lord power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord." All of these things are prescribed. All of these things are getting ready to come down, right? Matthew 24 and 21 says, "For then shall be great tribulation." When you want to talk about truck bombs, when you want to talk about cyber attacks, electrical grid shutdowns, okay, just shootings at events, right? We got the Olympics coming up, right? This is great tribulations, right? Such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor shall ever be, right? And except those days should be shortened, there should be no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. So these things are going to come quickly and roll out upon the earth. All right. So those of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that are waking up to the precious name of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, changing your life, repenting, getting into this word, right? We're in critical times, man. Deeply critical times. Okay.
But it gets worse. They will also, and this is totally.
I love how you go. You go truck bombs, power outages, and then you go, and it gets worse. Like, it's crazy to think about getting it. And I understand what you're saying. It's so wild to think about this. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I want to be 1,000,000,000% clear.
Yeah,
I'm not doing this for sensational reasons.
No, for sure.
Okay. I want to be all I do is study this. So this is the normal threat continuum. So on the ladder, indictments, civil stuff, garbage, impeachments, take them off the ballot. And so next is assassination. So if you're a deep state and you shoot at the king, you miss, what's next? You don't just try to blow the king up with a truck bomb. You don't just try to poison his food. That's just standard procedure in history.
Now we got these guys like Alex Jones that have been saying they're going to try to kill Trump. And so it's verifying all the stuff that he's basically been saying for the last few years while it was going to ignore it. So now these voices like Alex Jones and people like that are becoming more relevant. All right. But the main thing that's relevant is the prophecies. We've been saying this, brothers that came a part of the Great Awakening in 07 and our apostles and elders and bishops before us. This has been talked about for, decades, several decades. All right.
You then attack black churches, black colleges with truck bombs or mass shooters. But a truck bomb is great when you're desperate because you don't even have to wind up a shooter. You up with a truck bomb. You don't just try to poison his food. That's just standard procedure in history. You then attack black churches, black colleges with truck bombs or mass shooters. But a truck bomb is great when you're desperate because you don't even have to wind up a shooter. You just do it and claim a Trump supporter day.
Boom. So they're talking about black churches, but to say, Trump, a Trump supporter blew up a black college, or Trump supporter blew up a black church or a Latino church, or a Latino where migrants, they're racist. They're racist. Don't vote for him. We don't want him. We don't want him to get in there. See what the type of chaos that's going to happen if Trump gets in there. And this is a part of that Jacob's trouble, man. Right? This is a part of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans being targeted in Babylon the Great, which the scripture said. We just read it in Jeremiah. All right. That's what they're going to be doing. All right. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 70. It says, "For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. And they shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses." All right. "Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire." And then you always see this juxtaposition of this tribulation, but a certain amount of people being saved. Right? "Hear, O ye my people, said the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same." Right? Same thing we read in Jeremiah, the 30th chapter. But the point is, all hell and chaos is going to be out of here, man. It's going to be out here. People are going to be casting dust upon their heads, so to speak. Fear of the enemy is going to be out there. It's not going to be a good look. Jake going to be getting bombed, shot. Okay. Whether Alex Jones is right about the timeline, we don't know, but we know it's in the scriptures that you so-called the true Israelites that are here and scattered across the four corners of the earth, but mainly here in America, which is Babylon the Great. You're about to go through it, man. And there was a reason why the Spirit jumped on Apostle Tahar to say, this is the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble, man. And look what's being said.
So they have already said, Senator Blumenthal, that's running the attacks on me, and others have said, they've introduced legislation that when he's president-elect, because it's not just 112 days the election, or 113. It's that in that 79 days from the early November to January 20th, when he gets.
So he's saying when he basically gets voted in, he's president-elect, but he's not inaugurated until January. He's like, those are the times where all hell was going to be breaking loose on Jake.
It's inaugurated. That's 79 days. The Democrats have said there's going to be massive civil unrest. And when Trump tries to call up the National Guard under the Insurrection Act, they've introduced a bill to strip him of that power, which is a coup against the executive. So they've already going for hours. They've pre-programmed all of this where they're going to stage attacks on black people. That's all pre-programmed, all the shows, all the movies, everything. Say Trump supporters behind it. And they
boom. That makes me think of Psalms. I believe it's Psalms 10. It might be Psalms 140. Right. It says Psalms 10:1. It says, "Why standest thou far off, O Lord? Why hidest thou thyself